I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I want to look at the cacophony that has followed the 2025 UTME results or Jamb results. Jamb represents Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, and they are responsible for conducting examinations into Nigerian universities, apart from those who are admitted through direct entry. There's a lot of noise going on, complaints, and I run two schools, and we do these same exams. Fortunately for us, our students did very well. They didn't score 400 over 400, but we had the ones that scored above 300. We had the ones that scored above 200. And we had the ones that didn't do well. The ones that scored below 200 were the ones who were not serious. We not only teach them, prepare them for the examinations, we also pray with them. They were the ones who were not interested, and they scored below the 200 mark. Looking at the results and comparing the results with past results, you will find out that the range has been around 25% of the people who took the exams, the candidates who took the exams, scoring above 200. And then a small percentage, maybe 0.4% and above, scoring above 300. Now, we must realize that this examination is usually done before the West African Examination Council Certificate Examination, or SSCE examination. And so the syllabus in some schools have not been completed. We must also realize that these exams are computer-based, and they are different from the West African Examination Council exams that are written, handwritten, and have different units: practicals, multiple choice questions, then the theoretical questions. And so the chances of passing is higher in the WAEC compared to the one-time examination of the UTME. The next thing is that candidates might not be used to computers. And then, like a technologically backward nation like ours, computers might falter. They might have glitches, just like our electoral process. And so, but comparing the results with other years, the difference is not much. What is causing the 8,000 complaints out of the millions that did the exams is that some brilliant candidates got marks that they did not anticipate. And one of them, a parent, came on television to complain with his lawyer, a lawyer that he wants to take Jamb to court. But in the process of the discussion, he indicted himself, or he contradicted himself, that the daughter did the exams from senior secondary 2. That is, she's not in the final year. The exam was conducted for those who who are about to enter university. And if you have not finished the syllabus of the school certificate examinations, there are several areas that, from my experience, that are taught in the final year. And you might not know them. So then I heard about a teacher who said that he has been teaching for 17 years or whatever. I'll be how many years, and then he went to do the exam. What were you doing it for? What did you need it for? Then let me quickly say this. There are allegations that before the West African exams, where exams take place, or the National Examination Council or NECO, before they take place, sometimes the questions are online. And so your school certificate results might not correspond to the UTME results, where you go to do them in a different center, where the questions on your screen might be different from the person next to you. So, and the Jamb said that they blocked loopholes. So it is possible that very brilliant students, number one, their computers had issues, Jamb itself had issues, but that does not negate the fact that for some years now, 25% downwards have been reaching the minimal, the cutoff mark of 200 over 400, that's 50%. Why are we getting 25% and below? This one is not too different, it's just about 2 or 3% difference. Why are we getting such poor results? Number one, it is a reflection of a much more cancerous situation in our country. This result and other things, other academic results, are a sign of a deeper cancerous situation that has metastasized into this Jamb issue. Attitude of doing elections, we go to court for years. American elections, you don't hear of court cases over the years. Even Ghana here, you don't hear of court cases. There is an attitude of poor conduct of things, even when we are using technology, and there is an attitude of not accepting verdicts, even when we know that we didn't do well. There are some parties in the Nigerian electoral system that scored 10 votes, 20 votes. They will still go to court. I wonder what they are going to do in court. So, it is also a result of the disdain for academic and intellectual excellence and a rabid pursuit for wealth through cutting corners. Somebody told me that he accompanied his friend who took his son to go and write Jamb exam some years back. And one of the mothers was saying there, please, let them finish this exam quick. Let me buy a phone for my son so that he can go and do Yahoo Yahoo. So the child is there. His mind might not be in that exam. The mother's mind is in Yahoo Yahoo, is in internet fraud. So we want to, children today are not interested in academics or intellectual excellence because they have an alternative to quick, illegitimate wealth. Parents prefer to buy big phones for children to go to HK, Hustling Kingdom, instead of buying books and paying school fees. I know what I'm talking about. This is, which term is this now? There are some parents who have not paid school fees of the previous terms. But you will see them dress very well. You see their children carry phones, big phones. We don't allow those phones into the school. But sometimes the parents will still put them in their bags. I remember a parent in this country who was a secretary to one of the parties whose son's or daughter's phone was seized. He came with security personnel to carry the deputy principal or the vice principal in the trunk of his car, carried him away, invaded the school. Such a child will not take academics seriously. And the last time I saw him was when he was in court with a collar around his neck on a stretcher, charged for fraud. So parents don't help matters. Now there is a general over availability of entertainment and distractions instead of a quest for education. Things like TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, pornography, drama skits, drugs, lounges, and bars are so readily available to distract our children. Even at home, Nickelodeon, all kinds of cartoon networks, our children, when we want to pacify them, we tell them go and watch cartoon. And so there are also the distractions of cultism, even at primary and secondary school levels. I did a video on the senseless buying of each other, elimination of each other by cultists in Nigeria is a pandemic, even at secondary school levels. Now, there is an over-availability of drugs among school children. I know girls who put school uniforms, who put extra clothes in their school uniform, in their bags, school bags. There was one, they talked about a hotel in Ikma, in Uvia local government area. Yes, where students, girls, jump the fence to a hotel and all that. I know where children go to smoke shisha during school hours. And you want them to do well? No. Jamb does not do brain transplant. And there's a rottenness from the top where people do not have requisite verifiable academic qualifications. They occupy high offices. There was a time somebody was defending a president that we could not find his school certificate results. And he said that the minimum he needed was primary 6 certificate exams. A senior advocate of Nigeria, a lawyer. So we have people who have dubious academic records, dubious secondary school records, occupying top positions in this country, Nigeria. So our children feel that there is no need to even excel academically. And then the cheapness of our professors in rigging elections for those who barely graduated. There was one that was convicted recently. Rigging elections for politicians. And then in most schools, we did common entrance and did an interview to enter government college, Uwili. Very rigorous interview. I don't know how many days we stayed there, but I left there by 7 p.m. The day was already dark before I was interviewed. People came from Lagos, from all over the place. And so today, there are you can just take your child to school, and when some of these parents come to our school, excuse me, they want to tell us where to put their children. I will say, no. Your child must pass a minimum standard. And we interview each child personally, individually. And some of them do the exams up to 3 times. And we bring people down from SS1 to JSS3 to primary 6. If you don't pass, it's not my business. And so, once you don't have that minimum standard, you will build on a wrong foundation that will collapse under the pressure of Jamb. Now, when they fail in one school, the parents take them to a higher class in another school. And private schools just add marks to students during their terminal examinations because they don't want the parents to withdraw their children from their schools. A girl failed in my school, and a traditional ruler came with his full regalia, not my king, a traditional ruler from another kingdom, came with his full regalia that I should promote the daughter. I said, no. If she becomes a doctor, she will kill me in the future. So the girl failed and repeated. If you take your child away. So parents push children too fast, like that parent that said the child wrote the school certificate in SS2, senior secondary 2, instead of senior secondary 3. And some of them, the child will enter secondary school from primary 4, and then in JSS2, junior secondary 2, they will go to senior secondary 1, and the next year, senior secondary 2, and then they write the Jamb with no proper foundation, and so they fail. The next thing is that children don't take reading and assignments and their homework seriously. And many of these schools don't do continuous assessment. We do continuous assessment. So you don't just do almighty exam and pass. And these parents, these children, if they don't do the assignments and you sanction them, they are ready to come to school to create problems, especially the semi-illiterate, novel-rich, the ones who suddenly got rich, who found themselves in some kind of illegitimate wealth. They are ready to come and fight teachers. There are some that will want to bring cane to flog teachers in school. That child has a wrong impression in his or her brain and will not take academics seriously. Many of the students are very rude and rebellious because of their parents. They don't pay attention in class because they feel over special to their very local parents. They feel they can do anything and eventually end up overseas or in private universities. And then there is the negative influence of people like Andrew Tate. If you're a parent listening to me and you have not heard of Andrew Tate, then you don't know what you're doing yet. I had a child in my school, a learner, who refused, suddenly just changed, was not paying attention, was not ready to read, do anything. He was listening to Andrew Tate. The parents didn't know. And the parents were complaining that they don't teach well in the school. No. A bad workman complains of his tools. And then there's the negative influence of Aziz Fashola, Malians. They don't wear belts. They sag their panties. They don't wear pants. The girls don't wear braziers. Negative influence. There was one time, I just had an instinct to go and check somewhere. I saw a young boy with a phone while they were preparing for mathematics exams. And I seized it. The father came to beg and beg. No, I seized the phone until he will finish from that school. I won't give the phone to him. And so, I've seen parents come to carry children from school on Wednesdays that they are going for prayer meeting. And I will ask, what is the academic qualification of your pastor? Where are his children? The Bible school he went to, please don't get angry with me, is the qualification acceptable in a university? He's preaching with only one book that is not as big as an anatomy book or a surgery book. And you take a child from during school hours to go and pray and wear the picture of the man of God in quotes with his wife on his neck, thinking that he will pass. They should bring their pens to be anointed. Huh? I pray for my students. We pray for them, we prophesy on them, but we insist that they prepare for exams. Prayer, prophecy, and preparation will produce outstanding results. This is my take. You might differ, but 25% the previous years, and now maybe 22 or 23, is still very low. The Nigerian educational system is very good. We are doing well all over the world. We are winning competitions. But a lot of the parents of today are not serious. Their children are not serious. And we must do something urgently. In those days, during Ziti Boris' time or Douaga's time, there was education marshal. They paraded cities and arrested students who were not in school. Today, that is not the case. We must take education seriously. If a nation, Daniel Philipson said, nuclear bombs and intercontinental ballistic missiles might not destroy a nation, but lower the standard. Let people cheat in examinations, that the nation would destroy itself from within. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. This is my take. I have a webinar coming up on, can't remember the dates, this May. It's on creating wealth through cooperatives. We have properties for sale. We have books for sale. And we're going to produce t-shirts with "Bust You." Now you sabi, don't look at me like that. Money is an idiot. Idiots can't control it. And several other t-shirts. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62 for mentorship and for counseling. God bless you.